Hello, teacher. My name is Sonia Jaramillo, and today I'm going to present a general summary of unit number 8 in area language. In the presentation, I will explain the main topics of the unit, including vocabulary, listening, comprehension, grammar, and speaking skills. Finally, I will share my personal opinion about what I learned from this unit. Unit number 8, Narrow Language, have 8 points. The first is the general overview of the unit. The unit 8 focus on the importance present in them. The language is an essential part of the culture and identity around the world. Many languages are disappeared because fewer people speak, and then every year, when language disappears, tradition, history, and cultural knowledge can also be lost. The objective for this unit is understand why language become how they can be preserved in how English grammar and communication skills can discuss this important topic. And the next point is about the vocabulary. In this unit, introduce vocabulary related language, culture, and communication. Some important words, for example, exciting language, mother tongue, native speaker, culture, tradition, uh, bilingual, multilingual, okay? And learning in this vocabulary allow us to talk about language, culture, diversity, and the importance of practice language. For example, we can explain why some language disappear, and it's important to teach them the younger generations. The next is about the listening comprehension. The listening comprehension, the first strategy is inferring the speaker we point something speakers don't dare to express their opinions in the listening need to identity a speaker perspective by pay attention to tone on the voice, um, word voice, stress in context. This help us understand to complete the message and recognize the speaker attitude toward a topic. Another important listening strategy is taking notes. One reason and example while listening is as a to identity the main area and the reason or example that support it. Some common expression include one reason is there are several reasons that is why or as a result, for example, such as recognizing this expression help us organize information and remember the most important details. This unit also review the pronoun reference. The pronoun reference now to avoid unnecessary repetition. Some common pronouns are he, she, it, they, them, their. For example, Maria speaks Quechua. She teach is to her children. In this sentence, she replaces Maria and it replaces Quechua. In the some pronoun reference help us following conversation and the text more easy. Next, continue with grammar. In this part, is predictions when will and if clauses will. We use will to make a prediction about the future. For example, I think language will continue to change, or many people will learn new language online. Okay, when use will, when expression like, for example, maybe, I think, I'm sure, this expression helps us to talk about the future possibilities. If clause in about to talk about the future situation, for example, if people teach children their native language, if will survive. Okay, or for example, if we don't practice a language, we may forget it. This structure helps us expressing conditional and possibilities future results. Let's continue with the speaking skills. The speaking focus on using pauses effectively during the presentation. Pausing is an important communication skill because if allowed to speak in organized areas and helps the audience understand the message more clarity. Effective pauses shall be used after important areas or between different topics before introducing a new point or before to the conclusion. The unit also recommends avoid many fears like, for example, or Interest in the speaker shall pause Braid continued to speaking, using pauses correcting making presentation sound more natural and professional. Let's continue with number six is an important persevering language. One of the main for the main summary of this unit that every language is valuable. Language are more than words. They represent culture, tradition, history, identity. When a language disappear, an important part of human knowledge is also lost. Today, many countries and organizations were to perseverance preserve and now the language by teachings in the schools, recording stories, creating dictionaries, and now younger generation to speak them. Practicing the language also means practicing cultural diversity around the world. For example, I from Laguagrio, and I have many traditions and culture and language. It's so important preserve this language for diversity around the world. Let's continue with what I learned. From this unit, I learned new vocabulary related to language, culture, communication, and preservation. I also improved my listening skills by learning how identity I speak viewpoint, recognizing reasons in example, and understand the pronouns reference. In grammar, I learned how will to make prediction and if clauses to describe the future possibility in conditions. Finally, I learned using pauses and effective make a presentation clearer, more organized, and easier audience to understand. And finally, I have my personal opinion. In my opinion, this unit is very interesting because language is an important part of every people identifying the culture. It made me realize that many language in disappearing in that practicing the shared responsibility. I also learned that preserving a language means preserving tradition, histories, and a community. As the future generation grow, it's important to continue teaching native language and respecting cultural diversity. As a future English teacher, I believe I can encourage my students appreciate both English, their own native language. Learning a new language open many opportunities, but preserving our own language and culture is equally important. So in this unit, help me improve my vocabulary, listening, grammar, and speaking skills, will also increasing my awareness on the importance and the practice of the word linguistic diversity. Thank you so much. This is all for this video.